Good morning. How is everyone? I'm experimenting today. We're going to try something a little different with the coloring page. Hey, Andy. Hey, Pierce. How are you guys? Good morning. I think this shadow would go through the bunny, but... Hi, Bug. You come here and say hello? Good morning. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. He's so camera shy around you guys. You want to say good morning? Can you lift your head? Say hi? Come here. There we go. Good boy. It's definitely nice. Oh, pierced. Yes, please hang out in the background. I get the winter blues myself. I have a sun lamp, which I use a lot in the winter, and I really love that. I also started doing something new this year, which was turning on my interior lights before I need them in the winter. So I think it was my therapist that told me to do that, but she basically said, before you need the lights inside, turn them on so that it never really gets dark and you have that moment of like, oh man, it's already dark outside. I gotta turn on the lights. Like it's only 4:30 or 5 o'clock or whatever. By turning on the lights before you need them, it helps sometimes if you're focused on things like work to skip past like realizing that the sun has gone down outside because the light inside has maintained, if that makes sense. And it is such a simple little trick that's been helping me a lot more than I was expecting. Do you need more food? Yeah, do you need more food? Okay, hold on. Let me refill his bowl real quick. Andy, I'm so glad you guys get sun. I know it's a long-standing trope that you guys don't ever have it. The dog more food. I totally forgot to tell you guys. I wrote some things down to tell you, and I had to get my book. I don't want to. Oh, do not need to show this on camera. This is my journal, but I do need to find out what I wrote down because I was like, I have to tell everyone. Oh, all right. Are you guys ready? Sorry, I need to brush my hair. It's morning. Okay, so 3 really cool things happened. I need HB to get here so that I can tell you guys all. Also, FYI, I'm trying this like technique here where everything, I don't know if you can see these itty bitty little pencil lines I made coming out of this light source, but everything outside of it is going to be darker. And everything inside the light source is going to be lighter. Yeah, no, that bunny definitely doesn't get the shadow. Okay, things to tell you guys. probably more than once this stream. I'm sorry. One, the first thing that happened is that my partner witnessed Monty potentially knowing when I was on my way home, a la Rupert Sheldrake, and that short that I put out that got all the heat, and the long version that I also did, where Rupert Sheldrake did the experiment with animals where they put the cameras up and in somebody's home and watched their pets while the person left the house for varying amounts of time, and they differentiated by a whole different slew of things, from the time they came back to the vehicle they took, how it was communicated, all of it. And they kept finding that once the owners had mentally decided that they were coming home, these pets would get up out of the blue and go wait for their owner by the door. Well, I say all of that because I think it was last week, I am doing a project at a girlfriend's house right now, and I was working over there, and I had planned to come home earlier, but I'd gotten busy and stayed a couple hours extra. And I decided to leave, gave my girlfriend a hug, put on my coat, walked to the elevator, and then texted my partner that I was on my way home. And he immediately texted me back a picture of Monty, and he was like, "Did you just decide that?" And I was like, I mean, yeah, like maybe 2 minutes ago. I was like, all right, it's time. I put my stuff on. I started gathering my things, and I walked to the elevator before I texted you. And he was like, just a few minutes ago, Monty just got up out of the blue and went and waited by the door. And the only reason I think that we would have clocked it is because I had also texted, and he has listened to the telepathy tapes and saw the dog. And so it was like he put all the things together and was like, oh my gosh, Monty's waiting for you. Like Monty knew you had realized you were going home, which is just crazy and so cool. And then, so that was the first thing that happened. And I'm not going to it's not a controlled environment, right? It's only happened once. We weren't expecting it, all of those things. So I know that I could easily be like reading into it or having it be what I want it to be. But it really seemed kind of cool. It really seemed like it might have been one of those experiences. And I have like the text message of like Monty by the door and stuff because he sent me a picture. It was just very, very cool. So that was the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened also in the last like week or so, oh, that one's dry, is that I was out playing with the dog and we were throwing the ball, and I get anxiety. Wow, that is not the marker I wanted. I get anxiety, and I basically was playing ball with the dog, and all of a sudden I had this sudden pang of anxiety out of nowhere. Usually if I'm feeling anxious, I know what it's about. But I'm just playing with him, and I just had this anxious feeling. And I even remember as I'm playing with him being like, that's really weird. Like everything's fine. I'm outside playing with the dog. There's nothing going on. I wasn't even thinking about anything. Why am I feeling anxious? And I was like, okay, whatever, put it to bed. It's just a feeling. It'll pass. And it did. And I went ahead, finished playing ball with the dog, and I came inside, and when I checked my phone, I had a text message from my sister-in-law who was telling me that my brother, who I raised, mind you, so like we've got one of those brother-mother situations where like raised by your sister, but whatever. So we're very close. And my sister-in-law texted me and said that my brother was having a panic attack, and he was fine. They got through it. Everything was fine. But she texted me, and essentially without knowing that I had that weird pang of anxiety, my brother was having a panic attack at the moment. And again, one of those things might mean nothing, might not be related, but it was just kind of curious. It was like, I mean, maybe it's related, maybe it's not, but like having a phantom pang of anxiety just to find out that someone that I could be mentally tethered to because of closeness was having a panic attack. One, if that's true, that's wild. Two, if that's true, it makes me wonder how many other times when I experience kind of random emotions, who they belong to. Like, are they his? Are they my sisters? Are they my partners? Are they mine? Are they someone else? I don't know. This was very strange. And just again, one of those things where I'm like, maybe it's nothing, maybe it was something. The final thing that happened is that I'm going to say all of this and then I'm going to color, I promise. The final thing that happened is that I was at a wedding last weekend, and at the wedding, it was a wedding of an old coworker. And at the wedding, I found out that a different old coworker of ours had passed away like a month ago or so. And I did not tell anyone this at the time because I thought I must be going crazy. But now it just feels like it might be a personal Mandela effect. I want to say this out loud. I swear I already knew. It had already happened. It felt like a personal Mandela effect. Like, we'll call our friend Steve. Yeah. So I was told Steve passed away and it was a tragic accident, and I was told what the accident was. But when I heard it, I was like, that already happened. Steve already passed away in that tragic accident, that same accident. But it happened like 4 years ago. It happened several years ago. I know it did, but like everybody at the wedding was talking about it because it had only happened a month ago and he was supposed to be at the wedding. But had you asked me the night before the wedding, I would have told you, no, Steve passed away a few years ago. He's not going to be there. But then I got there and everyone was like, yeah, Steve passed away last month. And I was like, no, I don't know. Again, personal Mandela effect, I suppose, but very strange, right? It's just really interesting. Okay, end of rant. Those are the 3 things that I had written down to tell you guys because I was like, this is getting weird and all of these things keep happening and I wanted you to know. All right, that's it. Now you guys get to talk for a minute. I've been talking up a storm. Okay. So I'm curious if any of you guys have ever had anything like that where either you were having anxiety that you knew wasn't yours, if you have any personal Mandela effects that aren't like, the big ones that everybody knows. And what was the other one? The dog. That was just very cool with him waiting by the door. It's never happened before. Never happened before in which I caught it. Like, he very well may have always been doing this and I just didn't know, but I was very curious all the same. Do you, Andy? Please give them up. Send them my way. I powered through the next script for my long form. So hopefully I can finish the script today and record Thursday or Friday and get it out this weekend. That's the dream. And the next one is the one on, I don't know that one I'm taking. Okay. The other, oh my God, I just lost my train of thought already. Oh, hey, Tara. How are you, girl? How's it going? Oh, hey, good luck. How are you? Good morning. I've been over here telling crazy stories about the last week. Andy, I screenshot those, the videos you recommended. I have not heard or seen either one of those. Did you watch Age of Disclosure? I know we kind of talked about it, but obviously it's still getting talked about a lot right now. I was just telling my partner, I think it's one of those things where people who aren't super interested in the UFO topic might have found the documentary like really eye-opening, but for anybody who's been really invested, it seems like all of those people are being like, yeah, we're just hearing more of the same, which is something's going on and we can't tell you what. It was just more people, more official people saying that same message, but I actually have not seen it yet. So I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, Tara. Leto files, about 40 minutes, I think. I don't know the Leto files. Wow, those are two different markers and they look the same right now. I'm kind of scared to do this shadow and highlight situation. I'm trying to think like a photographer and figure out where my shadows hit and where my highlights hit. It's almost Christmas, which means I can buy myself markers soon. I told myself not until Christmas. Okay, that one's more about telepathy than UFOs. I mean, I'm in. I still want to be telepathic. I don't know where HB is. He's usually here. He may have something going on today. Who knows? I have been stressed before about him not showing up, and I learned to not do that. He's fine. He's usually here, but sometimes he's not. Pierced, which one by Andy did you watch that was over your head? Trying to remember which video was recommended last time. I can't help, I know I say this all the time, but I can't help but get excited at the idea that maybe some of us will have the opportunity to come into our ESP capabilities, if you will. And I just keep hoping and looking for signs. I mean, that's probably what was going on with my brother, right? Like, I've been looking for it, right? I want this to happen. But I also wasn't. Like, I've been looking for it in general, but I didn't expect it at the time. Like, it didn't even occur to me that that anxiety I was feeling was somebody else's. But I suppose that is a bit of telepathy. I'm not sure why you're regretting to be here, but okay. Sorry, I'm not really following. Pierced, the one about consciousness with the old white dude, you started talking about physics and lost me. Andy, the other video is 10 breakthroughs to lead to quantum mechanics, short supercut. Abigail James, about 25 minutes in. I think I know her. Okay, thank you. Pierced, I'll have to go back and see which one it was. It is a little bit hard to follow sometimes at first, all of these things, but the more you lean in, the more it starts to make sense, you know? At some point it just starts to stick, or click, if you will. Abigail James, that name sounds so familiar. Why do I know her? probably could have saved this photo for some sort of voiceover short because this is the industry I'm in. I could have talked about work. I mean, I say that, but I'm not super busy right now with production work, I mean. HB! You made it! Oh, strange. Well, I'm glad you made it, friend. We were wondering about you. Told everyone not to stress because you usually come through. I've been telling some crazy stories about ESP. Well, I don't know if it's about ESP, but crazy stories from my last week. And Andy has shared a couple of videos in the chat that I have not checked out yet, but that's about where we're at with the conversation. Might be time to flip the record. You guys are going to really like this one. It's kind of like tortoise shell. It's like brown tie-dye, the vinyl is. Yeah, it's time to switch. Just a moment. I'm always wondering where you are. Friends! SSI. Okay. I don't know that I'm following, but let me show you this vinyl. Okay, it's not tortoise shell per se, but isn't that cool? It's like kind of tortoise shell tie-dye. Am I in the screen? Yeah. I like it. Ooh. Don't mind that jump. Okay, we're back. December 16th. HB, thank you. You knew I was going to ask, didn't you? Are you excited? Is she planning on mentioning you in that speech, HB? I know she's not going to use your name, but... Willing to be notified when smile? You're getting nervous. I mean, I don't think you should be nervous, right? I feel like I am fine, thank you. I feel like HB doesn't Dr. Hennessy, can she simply just not state your name? If she chooses to talk about your experience, like, isn't it possible that she can just tell the story or whatnot without saying your name? Is that possible? Mm-hmm. Oh, this album sounds like a soundtrack. It's the one behind me right now. I'm getting somewhere. In her book, she gives us a letter. I don't think I'm following. Andy. I'm excited about those videos you gave me. I might be able to listen to them / watch them while I'm doing this project at my girlfriend's house. It's one of those ones that I'm basically organizing her office for her. But that means I can kind of multitask. Let's see if this color is available. Oh. So she doesn't give you like HB, she'll just call you like H, for instance. Is that what you're saying? So then what are you nervous about? No one's gonna know it's you. Okay, this is kind of a darker yellow. But I'm doing it. HB, did you hear the stories earlier about my weird personal Mandela effect? Does anyone have a theory on that? Because I'm concerned. Also, how curious about the anxiety with my brother. Just doing a little bit of a highlight on this guy. It's probably not the move, but whatever. All right, so the idea, this is the part that's scary. The idea is that everything on the outside of these two lines I drew gets colored light gray, and then all of the colors get done over it. And I'm nervous to mess it up. Leto Files is just background chat, or they're chatting. Okay. Are the other ones more visual? I see. So you're not anxious necessarily about yourself. You're just anxious about this information going out to the public. I see. Also, sorry, my heat just kicked on. Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry, I wasn't understanding what you were trying to say there. Do his bat wings take place of his arm? Is that not like a real arm? It does. Shoot. Let's see here. So loud, I'm sorry. Nexus 2 to Closure is on YouTube. What's that one? 9 a.m. Thanks, Tara. Okay, sounds good. Good luck. Have a good day, okay? No problem. All right, Sundown. I need to just make a decision. All right, this is gonna seem really dark at first, but when it dries, it's gonna get better. Women of Disclosure. Interesting, HB. All right, bear with me, guys. We're gonna try and color this bat. I'm really excited about the next Telepathy Tapes deep dive. I am caught up finally in this season. And I'm not gonna lie, the last episode on energy healing has been the one that has struck me the most. Like, I actually went back and listened to that one a second time already, just purely because I wanted to hear it again. I am so fascinated by the idea of energy healing. I love the placebo effect. I'm really excited to talk about that episode. But the mediumship one has gone really well, like the writing process so far. I don't feel like I have a ton of sidebars on it. The best thing would have been, like, had I spoken to a medium and could have done a bit of my own experience in the video, but I don't think I would get a medium to chat with me for free, and I cannot afford to pay a psychic right now just for content. So this one may not have as many sidebars on it, but I don't know, I'm having a lot of fun. Bringing in green. Food basket. Placebo, I do. I love it, Tara. I think it's so interesting. We're going to go with G523. I mean, I've always felt like if it works, right? Like, who cares if it's a placebo if it does what it's supposed to do? One second, everybody. Take a look at our pretty picture. Turn the heat down a little so that hopefully it'll kick off soon. HB, I'm so excited for, I know you're a little nervous, but I'm excited for things to progress for you and Dr. Diane. Do you know if her speech is going to be publicly accessible? Wait, hold on. Oh, Tara, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. All right, has anyone had a personal Mandela? I'm still waiting on someone to commiserate with me because I haven't told anyone except for you guys now that happened. Like, when everyone told me about, what did I call him, Steve? When everyone told me about Steve's passing, I kept my mouth shut about thinking it had already happened. But I have not stopped thinking about it myself. And I don't know if I'm losing my marbles. Right? Like, what was that about? What do you mean? Why am I thinking that this already happened if it hasn't happened? especially Israel. What are we talking about, friends? Wondering if I'm going to color this first and then do the gray after the fact. In which case I might have to do that part another day on live so you guys can see it. Because I think the ink needs to dry a little bit first. Oh, the international speech. I see. Oh, well, I was asking if it's publicly available and you're saying especially in Israel? Oh, okay. No, don't be sorry. I was just curious. That's coming up. Less than a week, right? I think there is a day next week that I may not be on. Maybe next Wednesday. I have a shoot one of these days. Can't wait for summer and to be able to go back outside. I feel like I feel more obligated to fill the silence when I'm inside. Whereas when we were outside, at least I felt like there were ambiance and things to kind of detract so that I wasn't the only focus. Now I feel if I'm not speaking, I'm not entertaining. Okay, so let's talk about heretics, heresy. Heretic is actually a newer word in my vocabulary. I think I only started to come into contact with it in the last 2 years or so, and I'm still trying to fully understand the meaning. In human design, which is that silly little thing that I kind of believe, there are profile numbers that give you, there's I think a dozen different profile numbers that you can get categorized into as one of the many aspects of human design. But I say all of this to say that something about my profile has the word heretic in it. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's something about being a heretic. And that was the first time I came across that word. And I was like, I don't even understand what that means. And so in the brief amount of time I've been aware of this word, I've come to discover that it means anyone that just basically goes against the norm, especially in religion. Is that correct? I would love for you guys to expand on that definition because I don't think I fully understand it. Heretic means different, but doesn't it mean more than that? Doesn't it mean something else? hate packing 5 boxes done. Oh, girl. And I bet that's like 5 of like 45, isn't it? I wish I could be there to help you. You had a nice little meditation on Monday for your second chakra. I did a, okay, speaking of chakras and going back to that healing energy part of the telepathy tapes, I did a Reiki session, a distance Reiki session online with somebody not too long ago, and I didn't know what part they were working on, but I kept feeling it on my throat chakra, and I thought that, again, I'm always questioning if I'm just making stuff up in my head or if it's true. But I was thinking, like, man, I really feel this in my throat. I feel this in my throat. I feel this in my throat. And then we got done, and she was like, man, your throat. And I was like, I knew it. End of excitement. That was the end of the story. But I still was really excited. Revealed some shame that you'd been carrying for around 13 years that doesn't even suit your current mindset anymore. Isn't that amazing? Like when you can use those kinds of things to purge like ex versions of yourself. I always joke, descent, Italian, Irish, nature, Orthodox means straight belief or to your right. Oh, I see, HB, thank you. Believe your intuition. It's always interesting, Pierce. That makes me think, I've told friends before that anyone who knew me before 2021 does not know me anymore. And that's not, I don't mean that in a harsh way. That's also like not true. I just mean that to say that I have changed so much in the recent, however long it's been, that I feel like I've become a whole different person than I used to be. Let's try B114. Nope, that one's out. Hold on, I gotta get the record. Still jumped. I know how to put a needle on. I imagine you do, HB. Okay, oh, the blues, that's what I was getting. Okay, it's 222 available. I think rather than replacing all of my markers, I may try and be a little bit more strategic and purchase a set that's closer to the ones I'm missing, which is mostly light colors. The dark colors I tend to have more of. I think partially because I feel like they look the same. So I don't need 7 dark grays. They all kind of look the same, you know? Those parts don't leave us. They're still in us somewhere. We have to forgive them, forgive our teenage self to help heal. She's so hurt. It's hard to see sometimes. It is. I've done inner child work or tried to before, and that is always the hardest for me. Like when somebody tells you to like talk to your inner child, have a conversation with them, parent them, heal them, do all the things, and it is very hard to face my younger self. I understand, Pierced. I think that we may be cut from similar cloths. And for me, it's not when I say that, you know, people who knew me before 21 don't know me anymore. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's not like I even am mad at myself for who I was before. It's just such a different person. Like the older version of me was so responsible and pragmatic and therefore quite controlling and needed everything to be done her way and did not believe in anything supernatural or anything spiritual. I was curious about a lot of it when I was younger, and then as a teenager, I like fell out of all of it, and then I came back to it. And there was just like a version of me that was so surface level, not in a stuck up or a bad way necessarily, but it's just different now, you know? Again, the main thing that changed was spirituality. I was not spiritual. I was not a meditator. I had never had any mystical or interesting experiences. I didn't believe in ESP, all of those kinds of things. And now that part could not be further from the truth. Cute. Not press, not Professor Paggles, just Diane Hennessy. That's an Anna Warfare. Theologians have given up. Nothing changes till we change. Pierced. Threading you. Thanks, girl. I love that. I'm so glad you came around, Pierced. HB. The theologians have given up, huh? As in, the theologians that were interested in your book are not interested any longer? One of the first things you had to learn about your promise was that nothing changed unless you changed. I mean, I suppose. It's so interesting, right? There's two sides of that. Like, yes, nothing changes until you change. However, on the other end, you have that saying that is the only thing that is inevitable is change. Whether or not you want to change, things around you are going to change. So it's so interesting because I think it's another one of those cases where two things can be true. On one hand, nothing changes until you change. And on the other hand, whether or not you want it to, things will always change. And part of, for instance, my therapy has been learning to accept change and realize that change is inevitable no matter if I try to keep things the same or not. And I guess it's one of those sayings that goes both ways. I mean, yeah, it sounds like that's what the theologians would be worried about. Pebbles of timelines. I like that, Tara. I mean, yes, I agree. Changing ourselves is how the paradigm changes, right? We have to change the way that we believe, the way that we take in information, the things that we consider true. But I guess maybe the saying should just be amended to being like, to see the change you want, you have to first change. If you don't, then change will still happen. It just may not be the change that you want. How about that? Is that a good middle ground? This is coming together. It's cute. How the fuck do people pack? A lot. Some people hire others to do it. The problem I find, Pierce, with packing is that it's worse to unpack than it is to pack. What do you pack if you have another one? Girl, I wish I was there to help you. I'm so into organization. That's why I'm doing this for my friend. Baby, start with the stuff you don't use, right? And you remember that unpacking is going to be a bitch. So don't overwork yourself stressing about packing up, because unpacking is going to be a bitch no matter what. So give yourself grace. Start with the stuff you don't need. Label everything. That's my big thing. The big thing that I do, I use painter's tape, and I will put it on all of the boxes, and I will write down everything that is in there. So if it's just dishes, great, it's just dishes. But if it is like a hodgepodge of things, I write it all down there. That way when you're unpacking, if you need something specific, you at least have like a content list in your boxes. It's an extra step of work, but if it sounds appealing, it could be beneficial. What do you mean you use everything? Hold on, are you packing up a full apartment, or are you packing up just like a bedroom? For instance, like, you've got books you're not reading, I imagine, right? You've got maybe clothes that are out of season that you're not wearing right now because the weather isn't appropriate, right? Is this just an American problem that we own too much shit? Like, I feel like there's tons of stuff around my house that I'm not currently using, right? Like, if I was moving right now, from where I am sitting, I can see decor and knickknacks. There's art on the walls. There are records. I will listen to some of them, but I won't listen to all of them in the next month, by all means. That kind of thing. Do you not have that kind of thing? Is that not you? Girl, I am poor too, but it is just like a different kind of pack rat. I'm older, so like the older you get, the more you can acquire cheaply. I mean, then hopefully packing isn't too bad. I have been in a scenario where everything I owned fit into a taxi cab, and I would move via taxi cab when I lived in New York, and the taxis hated me. But I've been in that boat too. And it's possible, but then it's just more chaos. Okay, so your off-season clothing is packed, your books too, you don't own decor, okay? So you've got what? Dishes, personal care items, the clothes you wear, the bedding you sleep on, dishes that you would use, and you're moving in a month? Then babe, do you have to pack yet? If you've packed anything that you don't use, then perhaps everything else remains unpacked until you get a little closer. Or you can pack things up in a way and still label your boxes that you can kind of like live out of them for a bit until things get closer to the move date. I'm just throwing out ideas to try and help you, girl. I don't know what the answer is. But it does suck to move. It's December, so are you moving January? Why did I just pull this color out? Oh, his shirt. Mid-January. Okay, so you really do have a month. I get like that too. I like to do things early because I don't like to run out of time. But if you're running into that situation where everything you're trying to do early is just going to be disruptive because you're going to use it, this might just have to be one of those scenarios where you can't do that way. Um, do you have any organized girlfriends that can help you? I guess they don't have to be girls, but this color looks eerily close to that cloud, but they are different, and this should lighten up a lot. We're going to do the glitter that color too. You are the organized girlfriend. Yeah, that's me too. Babe, sounds like you got to busy yourself with something other than packing then. That sucks though. I understand that itch before it's time is very uncomfy when you're like, there's so much I could be doing to help myself. And yet, I can't do anything because of timing. All right. I gave her kind of reddish hair because I thought that she was going to be red. Now I don't think so. This is a marker that my girlfriend went ham on, so I don't know what kind of condition she's in. I think what makes me the most anxious is the stuff I want to get rid of. Time to put them online. Yeah, I get that. And putting things online to sell, as awesome as it is also a lot of work. And that can cause some anxiety, right? Because you have to photograph things, you have to write descriptions that may involve measuring, and then you've got to actually check your messages, which I don't do because I hate social media that's not YouTube. And then you have to arrange pickups, and that's always scary as a girl. And yeah, I understand why that would potentially be giving you some anxiety. I don't like doing that part either. All right, so what else can be this purple color? A glitter bucket. Don't make me hate it before it started. Yeah, more colors than what I'm used to too, HB. I don't know what's going on with myself. But we're here now. I think I got all excited by actually having some stories to tell you guys that I wasn't using my brain power for color selection. Hmm. I'm getting somewhere, don't worry. How are we doing on time? 1 hour, okay. Pierce, can you remind me, are you in school? Are you in university? Or am I making that up in my head? I don't think I should have done her hair red. I think that's where I went wrong. I did. I did. And it's making me so happy. I'm so grateful that my therapist reassigned me to doing that, honestly. I did not realize that it was, in fact, something that I was missing in my life greatly. And even after just doing it for about a week, it has already started to like remind me why I love the morning pages and love writing in the morning. I will still do it on Mondays and Wednesdays after I film with you guys. So it won't be first thing in the morning on those days, but it really has been just such a wonderful addition to my life from the jump that like I'm mad at myself for even forgetting about it for a while, you know? It's starting to take a little shape. We need to bring some more purples and reds in, huh? Nancy may only use my work to write her books, like Pagels did with my work to write her story. Oh, really? So there's a chance she may not share it publicly. She may just put it in her books, you're saying? Okay, I got you. I'm about to, what is the word? Not get kicked out, but kick myself out of college. Drop out? What were you planning? What were you studying? And if you don't mind answering, I'd love to know why you're considering changing course, but only if you're comfortable. You do not have to answer that if you do not want to. Thanks, Andy. Drop out. You'll just throw it out there. Um, yeah, there is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 judgment coming. Please know that. I am truly curious. I think it's so interesting to hear about life because all of our lives are so different, and what we're going through at any given moment, what we've been through in the past is just so vastly different from one another that I just love hearing other people's stories and experiences just to remind me that we're not all the same. Tune in and drop out. What did he say? Was it tune in, turn on, drop out? Wasn't there more? Wasn't there turn on too? This is don't tell me, Andy. I'm gonna get it on my own. Mushrooms, psychedelics. What is his name? I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Tune in, drop out. Wow, it's killing me. Everyone loves and hates him because they were like, on one hand, he was such a maverick in the psychedelic space, and on the other hand, he gave drugs to everybody, and it made the government freak out and classify it all and take it away again. Oh my gosh, his name is killing me. Someone's gonna have to say it now. Thank you, Timothy Leary. I was trying to do it on my own. Okay, so you were studying political science and sociology. You realized you're not the academic type, very practical, need to see what I've been working on all day. Also, college is all talk, no do. I get it, girl. I get it. That's exactly why I asked. I was so curious as to what your experience had been. Um, so if you're getting ready to drop out, but you haven't done so yet, do you have more class left, or are you done with classes? Oh, really, HB? All of your stuff started from writing for PSTD. Hmm. I don't know what color to make this bunny. Actual bunny, like the bunny fur. Remind you, this bunny's purple, so it doesn't need to be. Here, let's take a quick coffee break because that record needs flipped and my coffee is cold. and then I will come back and we will figure this out and finish her up, okay? Here. Let's do some things. Just started snowing again. I forgot to tell you guys. My nephew, who's like the smartest guy in the world, he's in college, and he asked for a certain book for Christmas, and he accidentally got two of them, one from each mother, and so he gave me one of them, and it's a book about animals and how in nature there are certain scenarios in which animals will heal themselves to the effect, again, this is kind of energy healing in a way, or natural healing, but they will heal themselves to the effect that there was a study done with these caterpillars who would dose themselves and knew based on how sick they were how much of a certain plant to eat. So if they were only so sick, they'd only eat so much, but if they were a certain amount of sick, they'd eat more, and essentially cure themselves of this illness. And it was all studied, and it was so interesting, basically being like just talking about healing and nature. And so I did get that book this weekend just to add to the list of books that I do not have time to read, but I want to read all at once. Even if I don't go to classes, I work more, talk to my boss about more shifts. Got it. All right. Last steps here. Let's see. Would it be weird if I made this bunny's skin red, like her hair? Probably. What color is his hair? I think it's just dark. I think it's just darker. I love that your therapist told you you should write HB and that it got you here now. I thankfully came into it on my own. I had heard about the artist way a couple different times, but I wasn't super familiar with it, and I didn't know anybody that I was aware of that had done it. I do now, but at the time I didn't. And then I was in Los Angeles with a girlfriend, and somehow it came up, and she had done it. And she was like, just make sure that when you do the artist way, you're ready to do the artist way, because it's like a 12-week intensive. And so we talked about it, and then a few weeks later, I actually found the book at the thrift store, and I was like, that's a sign, it's time to do it. So that's when I started doing the artist way, and I started writing every day. And at first, I really did not know if it was going to stick, but at the end of it, I ended up falling madly in love with writing and with the morning pages and with the whole process, and now it's changed everything. Okay. All right. We're slowly getting somewhere. Let's see. What is my girl wearing? I feel like I need to stay in the purples, just so I don't veer off too much. Let's see. This might be making mistakes, but what's kind of the fun of coloring is that sometimes these look like shit. And that's okay, because it's just a coloring page. Nope. Out. Okay, this one's pretty out, but I think I'm going to use it anyways because it's not a big section. Wish me luck. Sorry for any background noise. My partner's starting breakfast. It just sounds like a soundtrack. This is where, because it's out, I made this decision. I need to follow through. Okay. Cute. I'm not mad. I still kind of regret doing her hair red, but we're here now. I still don't know what color this bunny is. Paul! Where have you been? HB, thank you for saying the like and sub. And also, Kai was talking about seasons 3 and 4. That's super exciting. It makes me very curious to know where else this is going, right? Like, it's got to top out at some point, doesn't it? You guys, I'm going rogue. I'm using this crazy purple. It's also almost out. What's funny is I'm not even crazy about the color purple. I've gotten better. I like it more now than I used to. And yet, purple was like the first markers to run out. So maybe I like purple more than I thought I did. Fudge. I still don't know what color that bunny is. And now I just have one swatch of dark purple. You just might. Oh, Polly, it's okay. Clearly I'm the one that doesn't know the algo. Also, everyone says this, and it's so true, but like, social media is so fickle. It's so hard to know if people are seeing your stuff when they sub or not, and if it's going to still show up in their feed, or if it's going to disappear into the background by 423. I do know that I need to just be more active if I want to help myself, but wait, hold on, I think I need to flip the record again. I just got my wall colors, so we're getting there. Oh, there's still more. It's just these long pauses between these songs get me. I mean, yes, HB, if she goes on to talk about precognition, it absolutely makes sense that you would get involved. It would be very exciting. I do wonder, like, all the directions she's going to go. I wish that, like, I had tried to see if I could get a hold of a medium that would be willing to talk for this next episode, but even though I didn't, I'm still going to try with the animal telepathy and see if I can get one of the animal communicators to sit down and talk with me. And I want to get that plant wave working, so for the plant episode I can show some of that, hopefully. And then for the energy healing, I don't know, my mom actually has her Reiki, I don't know what you'd call it, it's not a license. My mom has studied Reiki, got certified in Reiki. I'm not sure what the terminology is, but I could speak with her for the episode on energy healing, or perhaps take a course or something. I don't know. I've just got all these ideas. For creativity, when they interview Elizabeth Gilbert and they talk about big magic, I have that book, and it's just another one of those books I haven't yet been able to read. And I wanted to read it in time for the video, and there's no way. So we'll see. Someday I will be able to get paid to read. And then I can spend a work day just reading a book, because it's going to turn into content. John Paul's mom, Libby. Lily was John Paul's girlfriend. Libby was his mother. Telepathy tape shorts. Oh, interesting. I talked to Libby a little bit on Instagram. When I was doing John Paul's video on season 1, I actually connected with her. Oh, so you're getting random things about phone stuff since you just got one? Makes sense. Have your mom on. I don't know, Polly. Growing up, I was always told I looked like my dad. But the older I get, the more I see my mother. And my mom was always a hot mom when I was young. I remember always being like, everybody telling me my mom is pretty. And my mom is beautiful. But my mom, as she gets older, there are certain things in our lifestyle that are different. So my mom is a lifelong cigarette smoker. And now that she's getting older, that is showing up on her skin differently than it used to. So there are going to be like aspects of us that are different just based on lifestyle. My mother eats extremely healthy and is very active, but she was never much of like someone who just works out, whereas like I love to work out. So she's very thin and petite, but it's just in a different way. So there are things about us that are similar, but there are definitely things about us that are very different. But yeah, as a kid, I looked nothing like her. I had blonde hair like my dad. My mom has black hair. But my skin tone is closer to my mom's. My mom has really dark brown eyes. My dad has green eyes. So fittingly, I have hazel. It's just kind of a mix. Yeah, according to my mother, which I would say this is true. If you watch any of my blooper shorts, she comments on those about how much I act like her. There are like certain sounds that her and I make the same. Like when we're flustered or frustrated. We're also both very goofy in the same way. Like we like to play. We both giggle a lot. Like we're always goofing off and being silly. And when we're around each other, it's like tenfold. And then my mom and I have weird things in common. Like our handwriting is identical, which is very bizarre because my mom wasn't around when I was a kid, so she didn't teach me how to write. And I wasn't looking at her handwriting growing up as like a source of inspiration. So it was really interesting that our handwriting ended up matching. Funny things like that, you know? Hey, Vulcan. I can do that, kind of. Look at you, pierced. Good job, girl. Yeah, it's super interesting how things like that disperse. Hey, Sage, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a second. I can kind of do it. You talk to your cat the same way your mom does? That's funny. I mean, I imagine my mom when I do those things. This looks crazy, but it looks, as always, it looks better in real life. Let's see if I can pull this a little closer. I will say, too, now that my hair is dark, like my mom's, we probably look more alike. Okay, I gotta find a color for the ground. If I go really dark, is that gonna be weird? Let's do... definitely a weird little parallels in behavior between your dad and I too. And yeah, right? Like there's some of them that you're like, makes sense because I was around you. But then there's some of them where you're like, I didn't think that was a thing that you would inherit, right? Or that would rub off, if you will. Okay, what if, hear me out. What if I do the floor, the blue from this backdrop and like his pants, but I do it in a couple layers so it's a little darker? I think that's the move. I still don't know what color this bunny is. The other day, I don't remember what I did, but I did something and my husband was like, that was your brother. You just turned into your brother right there in that response. I don't remember what it was, but I like that one makes a little bit more sense to me since like I raised him and we were together so much growing up that like we would have those personality traits the same. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like me being a smartass to my partner in the way that my brother's a smartass. I always get interested in those stories you hear about siblings that were separated or like twins that were separated and then they come together as adults and they find out that so much of their life is similar despite the fact that they didn't know each other existed. Like there's some stories where there are twins that have married wives of the same name or named their kids the same thing or had the same kind of dog with the same name or had similar jobs or just like all of these things that you would not expect. And it's like doppelgangers. Like it's just another one of those experiences of being human that just blows my mind. Like, how does that happen, right? How do we end up so similar? This makes me think those twin meetups that they have in like Arizona or something are probably wild. That should work coloring. Yeah, okay. Thanks, HB. Yeah, we're going to see how it goes. Even my sister's vocal tone has things that are similar to mine. Infectious. Interesting. Yeah, I know. I mean, well, it might have been him. You never know. And my dad is pretty cool. We have a difference in certain things like politics, for instance. But in general, I like my dad a lot. All right, I'm going to make this bunny the color of his shirt, which is like this really, really, really pale gray. And remember, I'm going to have to do this either off camera or another day and go through and do like the great big shadow coming from the light because this needs to actually dry before I can do that part. Okay. Okay, the picture got a little weird, but it could be worse. I didn't realize I was off the screen, sorry. Maybe it's folds in the brain that cause things like that. Did you know the koalas have the least wrinkly brain? I'm pretty sure that their brain's like virtually smooth. And apparently that has to do with intelligence or lack thereof. I was just seeing this the other day in something and I needed to like pay more attention if I was going to talk about it. But all right. Here's what happened. I got to bring this color in. We're going to do it up here. So we'll do a little bit of shadows and then the great big shadow. This weird yellow brown in the background is a color I didn't bring through anywhere else. And I'm still mad about her hair. They also look so red on the screen. Like her hair and the bricks, they are not that red in real life. Yes, I did not want to say koalas are stupid, but apparently koalas are kind of stupid. They're very cute, but they're not very bright. We could become famous neurotheorists based on our brain fold theory. I like it. Polly, pretty sure you've got the jump on me, if I remember right, based on, aren't you studying physics? That's you, isn't it? You guys, I think I'm done for today. I think this is where we're at. I'm gonna go finish the next telepathy tapes deep dive script so I can get that recorded hopefully this week and edited this weekend, fingers crossed. Oh, how funny, Sage. You were randomly on the brain wrinkle topic the other day too. I don't believe in coincidence. Maybe we're all tethered. Okay, not you, Polly. That's okay. We can still come up with our brain theory. All right, guys. I hope you have an enjoyable rest of the week. Thanks for letting me ramble about my personal Mandela about Steve's passing. Still weird. Can't believe more people aren't shocked about that. I'm blown away. My pang of anxiety that happened during my brother's panic attack, still wild to me also. And then Monty waiting by the door when I was on the way home. How cool. I like to think that if I keep focusing on these things when they happen and I keep bringing them to light and noticing them, that it'll continue to occur, and hopefully more and more often, because that would be really cool. But for now, I'm going to go. Thank you guys for being here. Also, HB, please know I'm still reading. I just read about the Frisbee game, so I'm still going. But I will see you guys soon. Next week, I will be on Monday, although I probably will not be on Wednesday, but I'll let you know on Monday. Okay? All right, guys. I'll talk to you really soon.